Hi guys, this is Darn42, and my name is actually Eric Berg, and so I'm going to be showing you the solution to my vase right now. I've done two videos prior to this, but they have ended in resounding failure due to video problems. So I'm trying a new screen capture right now to see if that helps. So first of all, I'm going to show you how this one works, and I'm going to remake it for you. So let's go all the way down to the basic, the line. So the line is the very first part of this, and it's just a simple line going all the way up that I lathe around a center. After I lathe it around, I cap the hole at the bottom because the center is offset from the spline itself, and then I shell it because I want thickness. After that, I add the little nodule on the bottom. I'm not sure what to call it other than that. The reason why I shelled afterwards is because I wanted the top of the shell, or this part right here, not this part, but this part, to be still flush with the surface. And finally a turbo smooth to smooth it all out. I didn't go for smooth at the beginning because I knew I was going to turbo smooth it, because there's a little lip to get smooth when you turbo smooth it that I wanted to keep rounded. Okay, so that's that. So now let me remake it. I'm going to first take you through my process of deciding where to put vertices. So let's get to the reference. Here we go. So here's a reference. Now, when I look at an object that has a symmetrical curve like this, where it goes all the way around 360 in a perfect circle, or just anything where I want to make a curve with a spline, I look at where the concavity of the line changes, as well as where the concavity of the line changes, and where the direction of the line, the size of the curve changes. So here it's concave in, going this way, and here it's concave out, going this way. So at some point there's going to be a need to be another vertice in here. So I'd usually put it like near the apex of that curve. So one's top, and then one's right here. And it keeps on going, smooth, 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 and then all of a sudden increases in size, makes a much more violent curve. So I put one here, and it curves and it changes direction. Put one here. Then finally, it reaches the end, but there's no change in size or concavity here, so I just need one at the end. So let's see how that works. One here, one here, 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 here. So that is my spline setup. Now I convert all of them to Beziers. Looks kind of funky right now. And then using the hotkeys, I switch between move, rotate, and scale, which is W, E, and R respectively. So move, rotate, rotate, scale. This is going to need to be changed a little bit. Move, rotate, scale, rotate, scale, rotate. Now, I'm not going for perfection right now, but I'd like to show you one thing that I like to change. So you see how this is one really short arm and one really long arm? That can be bad for a lot of things, especially right now when I don't want it. So I'm going to shorten this up, trying to keep the angle the same, and then I have a nice, and then I convert it back to a Bezier after converting it to a Bezier corner. Move this around just a little bit. Yeah, and like I said, I'm not going for perfection right now. But as you can see, it follows the basic curvature. It goes in here, still out. Much more out, then it goes in, and continues in. Now the next step is the lathe. Here's the lathe, and then I select the axis and move this in. And once I do this, I notice some very serious problems that I didn't notice that it's harder to notice when you're just editing the spline. So I can show end result, and I can edit the spline the way I please. Let me move this up just a little bit. This is looking pretty fat. So just work this around. We'll get it somewhat close to what my reference is, which is this over here. I'm not going to be switching back and forth right now because I have pre-made it. So now you can see this basic method in which I create my splines and I get my major shapes down. Now because I'm planning on turbo smoothing this later because of the rest of the shapes, I'm going to make sure the interpolation of the spline is going to be relatively low but still enough to communicate the entirety of the shape. But I mean, if it's like this, you lose a lot of data when you do this. There's this huge jump. You don't know what kind of curve this is. You don't know what kind of curve this is. But once you get up to about 3, in this case at least, it communicates all the information that you need to. It goes round and down, and all that stuff. So there we go. Now the next step, like I said, is to cap. I don't even need to look. It's capped. Shell it. In this case I did 0.3 centimeters, which happens to be my default right now. And then another editable poly, or edit poly, not editable poly. And what I do here is I use the bevel tool, which should have been covered in part 4, but I'm not sure if. And so I use that and I bevel it out. I can use the outline tool to further use it. And basically what a bevel is an extrude and then an outline. So then we have our little lip thing. And then the very last step is a turbo smooth. Bam. Now we have basically the entire shape. And the benefit about doing it this way, what I really like, is you can always go back to your original line and change anything you don't like. I can make this ridiculous to really exaggerate the features if I wanted to. And create something all new. See? In just a few steps I've created something kind of funky and weird. But it's very easy to change whatever you want when you do it like this. And that's what I really like about it. Now, I know a lot of you probably had a lot of trouble with this assignment. A lot of it is because this is probably one of the first things you've done in Max, trying to recreate something exactly. And when you are recreating something exactly, you have to have a very critical eye of your own work. Always try and see what is wrong and what can be improved. Like right now, I look. The curve right here is a little bit shallow on mine. It's not exactly perfectly the same. Overall, I've spent a lot of time tweaking already, and it's a bit of a different angle. If I go to a perspective with distance, you can kind of see it. Yeah, the bottom looks good, but just a little bit more of an angle here. So I'll go back to my line. Maybe scale this up a little. What was that before? Just a minor change. Now we go back. Now what I've done, I screwed it up. Now this is too much. This part needs to be more, this needs to be less. So what I can do here is I can go to Bezier corner. I'm going to go to orthographic mode. Now just by the way, switching between modes is U and P. U is orthographic. P is perspective. And now I've changed it just slightly, but it's a bit more accurate to the original. And that's the best thing, is you can just do that whenever you want. If you notice something later down the road, you can change it. So now that's pretty much the modeling solution. And I'm done with that. So I really hope you guys learned from that. Tell me if I didn't cover something enough, if you want something else covered. This is my first time doing a tutorial like this, and I want feedback. My goal is to help you guys. This is not for me, it's for you. And so I would really like you to give me feedback. I'm going to show you my lighting setup because I know at least Jork tried to render it out, and notice that the lighting could have been improved in your studio setup. What I like is to have two different color lights on the opposite sides of the spectrum. So I have one cool color, one warm color. And there always has to be a dominant light source and one accent light source. So I have, this is 5000 K, I forgot the unit, but it's whatever the CDs are, and then 1500 here. One of them is a bit farther away, so I can have a larger bias. And then there are rectangles, which is the most important part, which gives a very nice diffuse lighting, which is very important for this. And that's pretty much it. I didn't change any other settings from the default, except for maybe like the width and the size. That's it. So I hope you guys learned a lot from this. I hope it helped. I know this is tough. It is tough, especially when you're just getting started. Anyways, good luck. See you next assignment.